Hi YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Today I wanted to talk about a different topic, or I wanted to name this video The Price of Authenticity, because I'm going through such an intense time right now, and I imagine a lot of other people are going through this as well, and it's a bit of a split in there's just kind of a line being drawn in society right now. And it's the line is, do you want to be moved by fear, or do you want to be moved by love and truth and light? And I definitely see a ramping up of the fear right now in the media, which I try to avoid as much as possible. I'm only currently on YouTube and Instagram. I made like one TikTok video, but I'm noticing just how intense these platforms are becoming these days, and how influential they are becoming on our moods and the way we show up in the world. And something that just really stuck out to me is just these constant updates on our phones. And I'm always curious, like, what are they updating? Like, I don't have any glitches or anything wrong with my phone, so like, what is the need for all these updates? And it is my belief that it's just like the big bad wolf, like EIIE, what is it? AI, artificial intelligence, is the big bad wolf. And what plays in my head, it's like, the better to stalk you with, my dear. That's what the updates are for, the better to track you with, my dear. And it frustrates me because I always forget to sometimes I'll forget to put my phone in airplane mode at night, and so it'll automatically do the update, and I'm just like, what is this update? Like, how are you further hacking into my space and my reality and my personal bubble? Because that's what these platforms are doing now. They're just violating our personal space, but and kind of bypassing our permissions. They do it in really sneaky ways, so we have to kind of do the research to maintain our privacy in these public forum spaces. But what I'm feeling is happening with our phones, with our TVs, all of these devices, is they're being used as mind control, to manipulate, social engineering. And with that, it's becoming more and more difficult to know oneself, to know who one actually is outside of this digital realm of chaos. And I think that's kind of the point, is to pull us away, further and further away from our own personal inner worlds, and getting our attention involved in these digital, non-existent worlds, or just they're not real. And so people are losing themselves, they're losing their minds, and I can kind of relate to that. These distractions pull us so far away from who we are. We become depressed, we become anxious. So that's where the mental health comes into play. That's where things that we aren't addressing within ourselves, they ramp up even further. In the fact that the transmissions that are coming out of our phones, the frequencies that are coming out of our phones and our televisions and all of these screens, they're lowering our frequency. They're implanting negativity in our frequency. It's implanting fear within us, and it just keeps going in a downward spiral. The fear thoughts and the self-doubt, because there's no connection to self anymore, because we're so digitally brainwashed. it's it's just a vicious cycle, and I see it ramping up so much these days. And suicides are ramping up in the youth, which is absolutely terrifying. And um, people's self-esteem are at an all-time low due to the standards that are being upheld by uh, like facial editing apps, like apps where you can like edit your whole look and make yourself look like one of the, famous celebrities that look, build a body celebrities. So there's just such a loss of individuality. It's like we're spiritually, we're supposed to be on this track of oneness, but that it's it's being bastardized. So there is a track of oneness, but then there's the artificial track that is, you know, totalitarianism, or just it's going in a direction that's very dark, basically. That's not about collective cooperation and collaboration and positivity and sustainable ideals and just more freedom and more possibilities. The other track is much more limiting, it's much more dark, it's riddled with rules, regulations, policy. In It's all a part of the institutions that keep us on lock, keep us imprisoned. So there's so many factors in society that keep us from tapping into who we really are. And it's been interesting for me the last few weeks is that or a few months more so, I've been going through another dark phase in my awakening. And in this dark phase, I've been met with a lot of confusion, and I feel it's all internal. Everything that I'm experiencing is internal. It's internal turmoil, and then whatever's internal is reflected outward, as within, so without. And so I've been in a bit of an intensity of fluctuations of energies, and it's been my attempt in the last few weeks to balance those energies out. And a lot has come up, but what's come up that's most pronounced is my childhood and my unaddressed, broken inner child. And that reconnecting with her has brought up so much anxiety, so much pain, so much sadness, and it's been really intense. Like, it's been a really intense last week, actually. And on top of that, feeling the collective energies as well, the intensities of that, and all of these crazy things going on in the outside world, stampedes at concerts, young people being killed, just trying to go out and enjoy themselves, and these particular events being portrayed as rituals, which I've been up on game with that for a long time. About Hollywood is what I like to call it. But all of these systems they're falling, and they want to take these systems and programs and entities, want to take as much and as many down with them as possible. And so that's, as I was talking about the split earlier, that's kind of the split. And I've already felt this in my early 20s, when I really had my reckoning with God and with my choices in life. I had a very vivid experience where I had to make a choice to choose the darkness or choose the light, and I chose the light. And had I chose the darkness, I would not be here right now. This would not be happening right now. And it was so distinct at that age of 23. I was going down such a dark path, and I was met with that choice. And so I chose the light. And I feel that, a lot of people are coming across that same um, situation, or that same kind of crossroad. And to choose the light, to choose truth, to choose love. Once I made that choice, it's like all the darkness came um, falling onto me, because it's like, okay, now that you've made this choice, um, you can't go back, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough. I guess some can say ignorance is bliss, but with ignorance, we act in ways that are not of ourselves. They're um, our behaviors are influenced. So it's just trying times right now, and mental health plays a huge role in that. So as I was saying, I've been bringing up a bunch of stuff from my past and my childhood and the abuse that I endured, and how it has affected me to this day, how it's hindered me in a lot of ways. I haven't been able to make the kind of progress that I wanted to make because of this disconnect that I've had from my wounded inner child. And so it's, I've been experiencing reintegrating that part of myself, which is also integrating all of the pain, rejection, sadness, isolation, um, abandonment that part of me has felt. So it's like the intensity has been ridiculous. I feel like there's like fire in my stomach and in my chest. It's settled. There was one day where it was just really bad. And, other people would say, oh, you just have heartburn. But nope, that's not heartburn. Like, it kind of feels like heartburn, but it's way more intense. Like it's energy, it's a different thing, a different experience. But yeah, a lot has been coming up, and I'm just recognizing why why it's so easy to just avoid ourselves, avoid that, because it's so painful to face our own pain, our internal doubts, our internal negative self-talk, and digging further why that is, why it's even there. Why is there all this internal negativity or internal doubt? So I wanted to bring up mental health is because while I integrate that side of myself, I've felt moments where I was like, I can't take this pain. Like, it's so hard, and I've gotten through it, but I can see how other people would completely fall apart facing the sides of themselves. And so I really want to relay the importance of mental health during this time while things are shifting and changing and there's so much uncertainty. I wanted to recommend a YouTube channel called MedCirle that I just learned about recently. It is absolutely incredible, a free resource to learn more about mental health and finding ways that you can get the help that you need. There are free resources out there if you're in the United States. It's just a matter of taking that step to find them. Often it's hard for us to just get out of our own way to make that, like it's we all kind of have this presumption, or maybe not all of us, but many of us have this presumption that it's like, oh my God, once I utter my grievances, I'm gonna fall to the floor and break apart. Like there's that fear again, the fear of letting go, the fear of release, the fear of being free of those burdens of whatever whatever mental health issue that is slowing down progress and preventing greatness. I basically reach a point where I'm just sick of this pattern that's been going on in my life, where I'm up, 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 and then I fall back down. Some of it's self-sabotage, but some of it is, well, all of it is self-sabotage, but it's just repeated patterns and the self-doubt that comes up and ramps up and just sabotages everything. So yeah, I want to recommend the channel, MedCircle on YouTube. Excellent resource. And through there, I believe you'll be able to find other resources if finances are an issue. There's lots of free possibilities on YouTube, but if you don't know, you know, to get a diagnostic, that's the first step in addressing whatever mental issues we're dealing with. I personally have a strong connection with my body, and I'm very in tune, so I know for the most part what I'm going through, whether it's anxiety or depression. And but I have gone to therapy, and I definitely recommend it. And if you can afford it, I absolutely think it's a great idea to get help and get the guidance that one would need to be stable and comfortable in this vessel in in their bodies while we're going through these unstable, uncertain times. It's we are experiencing a spiritual war. It's a war of our minds versus our hearts. And I think to win this war, it's about meeting our minds with our hearts and having that happy medium and happy balance, and leading with our hearts versus our minds. Our minds, I've learned recently, are physical, just like our bodies are physical and they're temporary. They're not eternal like our souls are. And this is my belief system. You don't have to believe it, but I do believe that. And so what our minds create is not the truth. What our minds create is just, you know, repeated repeated I don't know, I don't know why algorithms is coming up in my head, but that's the word that's coming up. But just repetition from this realm, this system, this institution that we're in, that we call Earth. And that's how I see what our mind does. It just repeats like all of the things of this realm and reality that are not real. They're just temporary matter. And yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure how I can get into that right now, but maybe for another video. But what is real is our souls, and I'm almost positive that many of us desire peace during this time. So I just really wanted to put that out there on this 11/11 day to really look into putting self first, to be stable and steady, and to be available, and most of all to be balanced and clear, mentally clear. Phones, it would be ideal to pull away from our phones more during these times, as the negativity is ramping up, as the powers that be are being sneakier and more insidious in their plannings and plottings on humanity. So I'm just putting the word out to be diligent, be watchful, don't feed too much into social media, or try not to. And focus on balancing oneself and working on oneself. If we can lead from this space here versus here, the things that we'll be able to accomplish will be absolutely magnanimous and beneficial for everyone. When we lead through here, it's divisive. When we lead through here, it's collective. It's heart-based, love-based, truth-based, light-based. This is based in illusion. If we can meet the two while this being the leader, then we're on track, we're on path. So this video might have been a little bit all over the place, but it's mostly about tapping into authenticity and you know, the price of it is you're gonna lose friends. You might lose a job. The more we step into who we really are, we might begin to recognize that certain things in our lives are not clicking anymore, or are not a match anymore. Certain people in our lives are no longer a match, or are contributing to our mental health issues. So as we become more authentic, we have to be willing to shift and let things, people, situations go, so that we can allow the situations that are a match to our soul, we can allow those things to magnetize, to draw into us. So yeah, this is just a little PSA about mental health, spiritual health, heart health, being balanced. Yeah, don't forget to spend some time outdoors amongst the trees and the mountains, the dirt, the desert, the ocean, the creeks, the rivers, the lakes, the grass, the leaves, wherever you can connect with the breathing planet that we live on. That will also bring some grounding and balance. So on that note, I hope everyone has a wonderful 11/11 day portal, and yeah, wishing everyone greatness and authenticity on this beautiful portal of a day. Bye.